What separates a good leader from a great one? It's not strategy, it's not even intelligence. It's what they do in moments like this, when someone in the room disrupts the energy, defies direction, and tests your patience. This is leadership under pressure. This is where real growth happens. Today, I'm showing you how I handle seriously difficult people without losing my leadership edge. You'll learn how to stay composed, protect your team's morale, and lead with presence and precision, even in the middle of chaos. Because the truth is, anyone can lead when things are smooth. But when tensions run high and ego takes the front seat, your ability to stay grounded and focused becomes your greatest asset. Difficult moments don't just reveal your leadership, they refine it. The goal isn't to overpower, it's to influence with clarity and calm strength. In this breakdown, I'll also walk you through the mindset shifts and language cues that diffuse conflict and reestablish authority without escalating the situation. Whether you're facing passive resistance, outright defiance, or subtle sabotage, there's a way through it that builds trust instead of fear. Let's dive in. Welcome to Next Level Leadership, the channel where we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. Whether you're managing a team of 5 or 50, you'll face the same challenge again and again: difficult people. The complainers, the critics, the deflectors, the people who challenge your authority, your patience, and your influence. Today, we'll break down how to turn these pressure points into powerful moments of leadership clarity. Because in the end, it's not about fixing them, it's about leading yourself. Leadership isn't about control, it's about composure. The way you respond when things get tense defines the kind of leader you are. Do you mirror the chaos, or do you become the calm? Difficult people give you the opportunity to practice emotional intelligence in real time. It's where theory becomes practice, and where leadership is forged, not in comfort, but in conflict. And here's the truth, every interaction is a mirror. Difficult behavior in others often exposes what we still need to work on within ourselves. It might be your need for approval, your fear of confrontation, or your discomfort with being misunderstood. The moment you take ownership of your response, you reclaim your power, not just as a manager, but as a leader worth following. Why difficult people matter? Every leader dreams of a high-performing, positive, aligned team. But the reality is, every team will have friction, every team will have conflict, and every leader will eventually face someone who resists their leadership. You might think, this is slowing us down, this is draining my energy, and you're right, but here's the truth. Difficult people are not just disruptions, they're mirrors. They show you exactly where your leadership needs to evolve. They test your emotional control, communication skills, decision-making, self-awareness, and your ability to stay mission-driven under pressure. One difficult personality can shift the whole team's dynamic, and if you ignore it, morale drops, performance dips, and good people start checking out. But when you engage it with intention, clarity, and consistency, you rise. You expand your leadership range. Common traps leaders fall into. Voiceover. Before we dive into strategies, let's talk about the common traps, because if you don't recognize them, you'll repeat them. Trap 1, taking it personally. You get defensive, you let it affect your mood, you feel attacked. But it's not about you, it's about their patterns, their fears, and their unmet needs. Your job isn't to internalize their storm, it's to stay centered. Trap 2, trying to win. You get into debates, you try to prove a point, but leadership isn't about overpowering people, it's about aligning them. The moment it becomes about being right, you've already lost influence. Trap 3, avoiding the issue. You tell yourself maybe it'll work itself out, but it won't. Passive leadership allows toxic patterns to spread like wildfire. Silence isn't always neutral, it can be permission. Trap 4, overcorrecting. You tighten control, you micromanage, you create policies to avoid one person's behavior, but overcorrection punishes everyone for one person's immaturity. Lead with specificity, not fear. Now let's move into solutions. 6 strategies to handle difficult people. Strategy 1, active listening. This is your first line of defense. True listening, not waiting to speak, not listening for flaws, listening for meaning. Let them speak, don't cut them off, then say, what I'm hearing is, help me understand your concern. The goal is not to agree, it's to acknowledge. When people feel heard, their resistance softens. Not always, but often enough that it changes the game. Strategy 2, clear boundaries. Boundaries define behavior. Without them, you invite chaos. Boundaries sound like this. I want to hear your feedback, but let's speak one at a time. I'm open to disagreement, but personal attacks don't belong here. You're not being controlling. You're creating psychological safety. You're defining the culture. Strategy 3, objectivity over emotion. Avoid character judgments. Stick to behavior and outcomes. Instead of saying, "You're disrespectful," say, "In the last 2 meetings, you spoke over 2 team members. That makes it hard for us to collaborate." Now, they don't have to defend their identity. They just need to adjust their behavior. Strategy 4, reframe the challenge. Reframing is how you stay powerful in tough moments. Ask, what leadership skill is this person helping me practice? Where is this discomfort pointing me to grow? See it as training. See them as your coach, uninvited but effective. Strategy 5, strategic empathy. Empathy is not approval, it's understanding. Ask, what's underneath their resistance? Are they afraid of losing status, feeling overlooked, burnt out? Understanding the fear doesn't excuse the behavior, but it equips you to respond with strength and sensitivity. Strategy 6, step back before you step in. You don't have to act immediately. When emotions rise, timing matters more than speed. Ask yourself, what's the bigger picture here? What's my best next move, not my fastest one? Reflection gives you the clarity that reaction steals. My real story. I once led a team where one person constantly undermined decisions. They interrupted in meetings, sent long, critical emails, always pointed out problems, never solutions. My instinct shut them down, but I chose a different path. I asked them to talk. Over coffee, I asked, "What's frustrating you about this process?" What I found wasn't resistance, it was fear. They'd been burned by past leaders and felt like their ideas didn't matter. That conversation changed our relationship. I didn't change expectations, I just made space for respect. And from there, they began to lead themselves. The inner game of leadership. No strategy works without the inner work. When someone triggers you, ask, what story am I telling myself? Is this about me or about something deeper? Am I reacting from ego or responding with clarity? You can't control who shows up in your organization, but you can control how you show up. Your peace, your poise, your presence, that's your real power. When to escalate or remove toxic influence. Let's talk about what no one wants to say out loud. Sometimes leadership means knowing when enough is enough. Because not every situation can be coached through. Not every behavior will shift with listening and empathy. Here's when you escalate, when the behavior consistently damages team morale. When you've documented clear feedback and there's no change. When others start modeling that behavior out of fear or confusion. And yes, sometimes difficult people become toxic people. And leadership means protecting the team, not enabling the problem. You don't need to explain yourself endlessly. Let the facts speak. Let the process play out. But never compromise the culture to avoid confrontation. Courageous leadership means recognizing when grace has done its part and accountability needs to step in. How to strengthen your team through challenge. Now here's the beauty of it. When handled well, conflict can actually strengthen your team. Most leaders try to manage conflict quietly, behind closed doors, in hushed tones, and that's sometimes necessary. But transparency, done with professionalism, can build trust. You can say things like, "We're working through some tension, and I want to ensure we keep our culture strong. We're committed to addressing behavior that doesn't align with our values." Then do the real work. Invite the team into shared accountability. Create safe channels for feedback. Celebrate progress when things improve. When people see that tough situations are addressed with fairness and clarity, something amazing happens. They relax. They speak up more. They trust more. Handled well, difficult people become leadership case studies, and your team grows stronger, not despite the challenge, but because of it. Let's bring this full circle. You've learned why difficult people are a mirror for your growth. The common traps leaders fall into. 6 core strategies to lead with clarity and strength. When to step back and when to step up. How to use empathy as a leadership tool. Why sometimes escalation is leadership. And how to turn conflict into culture building. This is the deep end of leadership. It's not glamorous, but it's where trust is built, respect is earned, and growth is guaranteed. So I want to hear from you. Share your experience. What's worked? What hasn't? What was your toughest leadership moment, and how did you get through it? Leave a comment, subscribe for more, and next week we'll unpack a powerful topic: how to lead when you don't have formal authority. Influence without title. It's one of the most underrated skills in modern leadership. You're watching Next Level Leadership. Keep rising.